Hello and welcome to Talks with Brock. I'm your host, Dick Brockington, and today we're here to discuss the popularity of baseball nowadays. With us, we have Ella Marshall and Katie Parker. So Ella, do you think baseball is still America's pastime?
Arguably, I say no. I think that if you come down to it, NFL is performing on a higher level than all across the board than MLB is. 12 of the 29 regional networks for MLB lost viewership this past year. The only good thing they really have going for themselves right now is the fact that their advertising is making the most revenue they've ever really made. Besides that, I don't think it is.
I think a big reason for it is that nowadays everything is instant. Gratification happens instantly. People want things to happen quickly, and baseball is not a sport for that. Baseball is a sport that takes time. There's a lot of time between innings and switching out pitchers and things like that. And during that, fans get bored. They have their cell phone in their left hand to keep themselves busy when they're not paying attention to the sport. And I just think it comes in waves. Things like this happen all the time. Boxing used to be America's sport, and now it's been replaced by MMA and UFC. Like, things come in waves. So I think that's what we're seeing here with baseball. It's just not its time anymore.
Right, and I think also you can make the argument that baseball on TV is not exactly all exciting. As much as I love baseball, I can't, even with my favorite team, I can't find myself to be really fully engaged the whole time with it. As you said, it is a very slow sport. As exciting as it is, and it's always been traditionally America's favorite sport throughout history and one of the very first sports to become so popular as being embedded as America's pastime. But nowadays everything is just fast, and now you want the attention and instant action now. With the NFL being so popular and now NBA growing increasingly popular, it's just fans now want to see just action, and not stats and historical background like what baseball has.
I think also the fact that it's not competitive enough in a sense. There's not a lot of limitations within the game of baseball. It hasn't really progressed into where we are now, such as like NFL, NBA. They have salary caps. Even on the off season, it is competitive. You have to make sacrifices within your team to get the best players. MLB, you don't really have that. You have a huge salary cap, if you want to call it that, and you can get as much as you want. Powerhouses become more powerhouses. Small teams become smaller teams. There's not really that much of a competitiveness. People who are fans of small teams go to the big teams. It's just something where it's kind of like the big dog of the house, and that's really it.
And there's not a lot of states that have a strong connection to baseball. You look at states like Arkansas and Louisiana, and they've got no professional baseball teams, so they don't really have a reason to root for it. A lot of the issue with the connection to baseball is not having a reason to be connected to it. So I think that's why we see a lot of sports being favored over baseball, because there's states that have connections to it. They have a strong football program, they have a strong basketball program. I think that's the main reason why there's a disinterest in the sport overall.
Thank you, Katie. Yeah. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'm your host, Nick Brockington, and this has been Talks with Brock with Katie Parker and Ella Marshall. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.